Guys, Sean, Less Lethal for Dummies. Today, I wanted to test bypass versus bypass. So after my testing yesterday with the VKS and the brand new Regulator spring, and finding that it didn't make any difference at all, I have returned to the bypass, and you can tell because my adjuster is run all the way out and it's just flush. And the reason for that is it just serving as a, it's retaining the spring just to locate and center the RV pad. I'm going to be testing, so this bypass, VKS bypassed, 825 PSI output, which is a standard pepperball tank that mine tested at. No shims, no nothing. The DK Kinetics Mercy Less Lethal Power Barrel, which is 12 inches, 11-inch control. But something happened yesterday. My metal detents in this broke, both of them actually. So a couple of things I did today. I installed printed detents that I normally use in my FSC. You can see them there. So this VKS is now running the same printed detents that my FSC is. They fit the power barrel money, but most of you are familiar. The VKS, because it has this hopper port, has a very large cavity here. And if you're not using metal detents or using a Grimberg barrel, which has the little nubbins, the air pressure actually pops them out inside your cover here, and you actually experience a loss of FPS. So behind this, I have put a piece of closed cell foam, so that is retaining the detents very well now. And you would think maybe it would give a little increase in velocity, but it doesn't. And that's kind of the reason why I wanted to test these back-to-back, bypass and a bypass. So the FSC is also bypassed. Harder to see on this one, but you can see the brass adjuster is backed all the way out and up against the inside of the grip frame. Unfortunately, I wanted this to be a one-for-one test. This is a 10 CI first strike tank in here. It was originally set, probably in my other videos you saw, shooting around like 925 PSI. But I wanted to make it even Steven. So I changed the reg spring in here to a blue one, which is a factory spring that you'd find in your pepperball tank and pretty much an off-the-shelf first strike tank. It tested at 850. So I shot a few rounds through it and decided, I can't do this. It's got to be even Steven. So I depleted the air. I put another blue spring in. It tested at 850. I did that a third time and it still tested at 850. So unfortunately, the FSC is set at 850 PSI output. VKS is at 825 PSI output. This does have a VKS air chamber and bolt installed a la Sean's method. It has a Vulcan heat core O-ring. VKS does not. It's still running the factory O-ring. Yes, it is still running the factory O-ring. And here's the purpose of this test. Oh, you know what else I forgot? I installed. Well, I'm not gonna send them all out of there. I have John Wixon's flat follower installed in here. Normally, my FSC, it jammed very often with shape projectiles, so it became roundaball only. So obviously I couldn't test these side by side if they weren't both shooting the same projectiles. So thank you, John Wixon, for sending me that follower. So it's installed in here. HP68s. HP68s. So I have 6 in here, and I've also just put 6 in my 10 round VKS here. Am I missing anything? Performance wise, no. So VKS bolt, VKS chamber, VKS bolt spring, obviously VKS bolt spring and air chamber. The only 2 differences here is tank output and obviously barrel length. So you can see the FSC, this is a 6-inch overall bore eBay barrel. So it's 5-inch control. So 5-inch versus a 11-inch control. So clearly you'd think this is going to have the advantage, right? And I don't think I missed anything else. So let's shoot them and see what results we have. First up, VKS 11-inch control bore, bypassed, 825 PSI, HP68s. Oh, better air it up. Air's up. .386. And remember yesterday, or my last video, 380 to 390 was a bypassed version on my marker. Or was bypassed FPS on my marker. That makes sense. 386. 382. 384. Already lost count. 382. 376. Pretty sure that was 6. Damn it, there was one left in there. Well, let's bang it off. Remember I said even Steven, right? Oh, traps all over the place there. 374. All right. So, you can see there, based on yesterday's videos with the intact reg spring, bypass, shooting exactly the same as I expected it was going to shoot today on my setup. Now, we will switch over to the FSC. Let me fix my trap here. Get ready for a beating. FSC. VKS air chamber, 5-inch control bore, eBay barrel, 850 PSI output. Air it up. Oh, and I should have mentioned, my best estimation using calipers on this eBay barrel, it's about 685-ish. And the Merciless Lethal DK barrel is also sold as a 685, although I didn't measure it, but it's accepting those HPs very good, as does this barrel. So they are of similar bore. Obviously this one is much shorter. 382. 388. 382. 386. 384. You got one more. 384. Thank you, John Wixon, and I'll put his link to his YouTube channel where you can contact him for those followers. No jams. Very impressive numbers for a stubby little barrel. But this is the conundrum. I mean, look at these two markers. The VKS should clearly have an advantage just on barrel length alone. So this is an unmodified VKS as you take it out of the box, essentially. I mean, okay, give me a break, guys. I changed the barrel and the detents, and I packed this with closed cell foam, and it's bypassed, so that's fine. It's not really unmodified, but this is what it's shooting. This is what my marker is shooting. And I know, guys, I know I've already had the comments, well, yours should be shooting higher. Maybe it should, but it doesn't. And that is what my marker does. I can't say what your marker does. But why? Why is this one? Why is the VKS with a really nice long barrel, besides the fact this had 25 PSI more output, why does this little stumpy with a short barrel shoot about the same? Well, I'm going to call that identical. If we omit the fact that this had 25 PSI more, that probably equates to about 10 FPS. It just doesn't add up. My thoughts are A, this port. B is, well, even though this marker is very similar to the FSC, the ASA system in this has a lot of ins and outs for that air to get to the chamber. There's no reason the chamber, they're identical chambers, they should both be supplying the same amount of charged air. And reality is the longer barrel should be actually producing higher numbers. You don't even want to know what happens when I put... There's a couple people out there that do. I tend not to share those types of videos anymore. It's not good for the less lethal community. You put a long barrel in this, guys, and it makes you sick to your stomach. But I love it like this. I love it like this. Gone through a couple of changes this morning. I went to a shorter CP. You see self-bleeding. I had I don't know what it's called. This is like their micro version. So it's a little bit shorter. It doesn't touch the grip here when it's fully extended. And when it's ready to go, you just kind of run it up like that and boom, done. And it vents kind of right out the side in my face as we're doing that. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Just some food for thought. Put some comments down there. What do you guys think? What is the reason? I'm always curious to hear other people's opinions on it. We're missing something. Anyways, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.